Let's talk about the process of buying a home. Now, I know this is really exciting to a lot of people, and buying a home is a huge milestone, but the process can feel overwhelming, right? So don't worry, we're here to guide you through it in this video. We're going to break down the phases of buying a home so that you can approach the process with confidence and feel good about what you're doing. So the first part of the process is going to be pre-approval and budgeting. So we really want to make sure that before we even start looking at a home, we are figuring out how much we can afford, right? So we need to get pre-approved. It'll give you a clear picture of your budget, and it shows sellers that you're actually serious about buying when you've already completed that step prior to even stepping foot in their home. A mortgage lender will review your financial situation, your income, your debts, credit score, all that good stuff, and determine how much you're eligible to borrow. Once you have a pre-approval letter, you can confidently start searching for homes within your budget. Now, here's an additional pro tip. Even if you feel like you are nowhere near buying a home and you haven't saved up enough money yet to even make a down payment, I would still encourage you to meet with a lender sooner than later. What this meeting can do is actually help you get clarity on exactly where you're at now, and your lender can work with you to put the right plan in place to meet your goals based on fact and not feelings. Now, phase 2, this is the exciting part, house hunting. Now, it's time to start. This is where the excitement really kicks in. But before you start touring homes, it's really essential to think about what you really want. I want you to make a list of your must-haves, certain things like the number of bedrooms, location, square footage, whether you want a home that's move-in ready or you want one that needs some more work that you can customize. If you're buying a home with a partner, take the time to really discuss what is most important to both of you. You may find that you're entirely on the same page, or that you might need to have some conversations about the topic of search criteria in order to get united. If you aren't entirely sure of what your needs and wants are before you start house hunting, that's okay. It doesn't hurt to start casually looking, because this will help give you a better grasp of what's possible and then narrow down what you want. So your real estate agent will help you find homes that really fit your criteria from there. And I'd highly suggest that you take notes on each one of these properties. Make sure that you communicate with your agent during this time. That's what they're there for. Keep your priorities in mind and don't rush into a decision, no matter how tempting and exciting things can get. Phase 3 is going to be making an offer. Now, I know house hunting was fun, but this part is pretty exciting as well, but it can be nerve-wracking. So once you've found a home that you love, it's time to write up an offer, and your real estate agent will help you determine a price that makes sense for you based on kind of the home's value and the recent sales in the area, as well as the terms that make sense for you. Make sure that your agent gets as much information as they can from the listing agent on the seller's situation. This is a super important piece. Having intel on what components to an offer are important to the seller, or maybe how much competition you have as a buyer, could be the reason you are the winning offer that day instead of the losing one. In most cases, you'll need to negotiate with the seller before you reach an agreement. Sometimes your offer gets accepted on the first go around, you never know, but your agent will guide you through this part of the process. And if the seller ultimately accepts your offer, you'll move on to the next phase of the process, which is escrow. Now, escrow is the part of the process that people understand the least. Let's walk through some of the main characters of this part of the process before we dive in, so you guys have a better grasp. Escrow is a third party that acts as basically the intermediary between the buyer and the seller throughout the selling process. They do things like hold funds, they prep and execute legal documents related to property sales, and they ensure that the conditions or terms of the purchase agreement are upheld through the process. So escrow is generally, the time frame is about 30 days. Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer, depending on a few factors. This is the time in which you as the buyer get to conduct inspections to investigate the condition of the home and uncover any issues that are present. Things like electrical problems, plumbing issues, structural concerns, understanding the history of the home and its condition. If you're getting a loan, this is also the time in which your lender is working to attain you full loan approval. And all of these activities are happening within smaller timelines within the 30-day escrow. And these smaller timelines are called contingencies. So contingencies are what I like to refer to as get out of jail free cards. These contingencies are periods of time, the length of which are agreed to in your original offer during escrow. So now that we understand kind of what a contingency is, let's give an example. Say you have a 10-day inspection contingency. And what this means as the buyer is you have 10 days to investigate the condition of the property using inspectors, home inspector, termite inspector, so on and so forth. If you find something in that inspection that you don't like, you can back out and cancel escrow on account of what you found. So you get to that 10-day mark and you are contractually obligated as the buyer to release that contingency. Now, that means you are essentially giving up your get out of jail free card. After you've released that contingency, you can no longer cancel escrow based on anything you found in the inspection. That's why it's called an inspection contingency. It's the same with loan. If you have a 15-day loan contingency and you find out on day 12 that your loan is not going to be approved after all, you are allowed to walk away. But once you release that loan contingency, you no longer get to walk away on account of your loan not getting approved. So you have to make sure with your lender, and your agent will help you through this, that you give yourself enough time in your loan contingency in your original offer to be able to see through that approval process. Once you have detailed reports from the home inspectors before you release your inspection contingency, you may want to request repairs and even ask the seller maybe to lower the price based on what you found. Once you have released all your contingencies, agreed to whatever repair request you have asked for, this is where you will sign a lot of paperwork in the process. This includes things like your mortgage agreement, title documents, and other necessary forms to transfer ownership. The loan will fund and the change of ownership will be recorded with the county. By that point, the house is yours. So from here, your agent is going to meet you at the home. They're going to hand you your key, which is probably the most gratifying moment of the entire experience. So the process of buying a home can take time, but with each step, you're getting closer and closer to meeting your goal. And it's important to remember that. Remember to take things one phase at a time and don't hesitate to ask questions along the way. Your real estate agent, your lender, your inspector, your escrow people, they're all there to guide you through the journey. So use them. We really hope this video helped you better understand the phases of buying a home. If you found it helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more tips and guidance on all things Orange County real estate.